As someone who always loved music, I consider myself mostly self-taught, but then I've had great teachers along the way. My grandmother also being a huge influence for sure. She was kind of my person, and she really encouraged me to just be creative and to explore all different types of art. So growing up, music was a huge part of my life, and I was always singing into the corners of my walls because it always sounded good when you have the echoing on both sides. I think that's really how I found my voice. In high school, I had a solo and I was super nervous, but I remember this thing sort of coming through me that I felt like, wow, I want more of that in my life. I really wanted to be part of what this of music and the way that it connects people.
It's knocking tomorrow, gonna gnaw on the gristle, chew the fat, got to get down to where the marrow's at. Come on, oh baby, can you hear me calling you?
I was kind of a big fish in a small pond, then to move to New York City, it's like, whoa, okay. So at first when I moved here, I was just doing those gigs where you're paying your dues. You know, a lot of times you're paying out of your pocket to those musicians, or you're making $10 out of the tip jar, but you are getting out there and you're getting some exposure. Exposure gigs is sort of an eye roll, but that's how a lot of us start. But little by little, you know, you do, if you're out there and people see you and your quality, you know, your performances are quality, and they like you as a person, then you start to get better offers.
We will fight with the strength of love. Words keep piling up deep down in my chest. Late nights sifting through
with everything that's happening, I mean, from the pandemic to sort of increased awareness or more people being on board with understanding the depths of systemic racism in this country and fighting against that and trying to create change. The music industry being completely just essentially gone in a way for artists. I mean, there's the intersection of so many things happening right now, and I definitely don't have answers. I love in New York City, everybody is from everywhere, and there's a community for folks here, and so you can hear, you know, we hear each other more in a way, and I love that about being in the city. Being part of such an incredible music and artistic community keeps the fire in me stoked to like be present and to sign the petitions and to read the books and to be a better human and to think about what my role is as a white person that lives, you know, in a gentrified area of New York and all of these things. I first heard the term Black American music from Nicholas Payton, who is a musician who essentially coined that phrase and saying that the things we call jazz, soul, blues, hip hop, R&B, all of that music, we need to acknowledge who created the music. It would not be American music without Black people. I do feel a special responsibility as an artist who participates in Black American music, who makes Black American music, to show up for Black folks, for, you know, in any way that I can.
I know he's the one I dream of. Looks into my eyes.
For me, and I'm comfortable with the word fat, being a fat woman has been part of how I've connected with an audience. Whenever I'm on a stage or in the spotlight, I'm very aware that my body is different than a lot of bodies that are seen in a spotlight or on a stage. My body is my instrument, and I want to honor that. I think things are opening up, but I do think we still have a long way to go as far as seeing actual, legit, genuine representation of everyone across the board, and that includes brown and Black folks, trans folks, queer folks, you know, bodies, differently able bodies or disabled bodies.
I'm just speaking my truth. Come on!
Art is valuable, and it is one of the first things we turn to in these hard times, because it's always been at the periphery for most people, art, as opposed to being like, no, this is what is life-giving, and this is what makes me feel good, and this is what keeps me in my body, and all these things. So, like, how do we each prioritize connecting with that part of ourselves?
I gotta testify, hey.
Sounds good, mama, testify.
Oh my God, I gotta testify.
Sounds good, mama, testify.
Oh my God, I gotta testify.
Sounds good, mama, testify.
Woohoo, my God, I gotta testify.
Sounds good, mama, testify.
Oh, come on.